You've probably heard quite a bit about meditation and that it would be really helpful for you if you tried it. But a lot of people feel a little bit uncomfortable about it. It seems like something that's maybe part of a religious practice or something that might just seem a little out there for you, not something that's been part of your experience. But what's so interesting is that in the research, scientists have found all sorts of very helpful things about practicing meditation.
And some of this research shows that meditation can actually decrease the symptoms that people have in generalized anxiety disorder. In this study done by a group of Harvard researchers, they showed that a group of people doing mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is a type of meditation practice, actually showed a greater reduction in inflammation within their bodies and reduction in stress markers for patients with generalized anxiety disorder compared to those in a control group. There is also research showing that when you have a practice of meditation for a number of weeks, you can increase your brain secretion of melatonin, and that's going to help you sleep better, and it also will help you fight cancer. There's also a 44 to 90% increase in DHEA, and DHEA is the basic molecule that you make all of your hormones with. So if you're going through menopause, you need to be able to make more estrogens within your body to support you going through that. And DHEA is a building block for that. So when you increase that DHEA, you increase your body's ability to keep your hormones at a good level. It also will increase your HGH, or your human growth hormone, and that's secreted at night when you sleep and helps to repair your tissue and is really important in your immune system. We secrete this at very high levels when we're children going through phases of growth, and then it starts to die off as we age. Meditation can help you keep levels of these hormones very high within your body. And the most important factor here is that it decreases cortisol, 47% decrease in cortisol when you practice a regular meditation practice, so that you aren't going to be battling the feeling of stress all the time. That does contribute to things like anxiety. So with these benefits in mind, see if you can set aside some of the old preconceived ideas about meditation, and let's see if we can form a new way to look at it and see if it becomes more appealing for you to try.
See if you can use the word attention instead of meditation. That's really all it is. The word meditation just means to focus on something. In reality, we have all meditated. We have all put ourselves into a brainwave state where our thinking has slowed down enough that our attention is completely focused on one thing. And in essence, the practice of meditation is really about practicing your attention skills or your focus skills. And who couldn't use more of that? One thing that happens when we become very stressed and overwhelmed is that cortisol forces us to focus on our outer environment. We are urged to constantly be hypervigilant and looking around us to make sure that there's nothing that could harm us or threaten us. So when we're exposed to a constant state of stress, whether that's because of something happening now in your environment or something that happened a long time ago that primed you and primed your body to be more stressed, you're more likely to just constantly look at your outer environment and be gauging what do you have to do to survive. The process of meditation and why you would do it is to take a switch, to focus internally, to be able to quiet the parts of your brain that are constantly processing and trying to evaluate whether or not you have to act. But if you can get yourself into a space, into a physical space that feels really safe and at ease, where you've really decided and you know that for the next half an hour, I'm really free of all interruptions and my environment is completely safe. For many people, that's hard to get. You can't quite find a great meditative state when you're first learning on a bus or a subway or in the middle of taking care of your kids or in the middle of your work environment that's high and fast paced. You're not maybe going to get there. It's kind of a mood that you need to set where you're able to truly believe that there's nothing around you that's going to require your outer action. And you really can take the time to focus and go inward. So many people use music, different scents, different maybe aromatherapies, or different setups within their environment, different pillows, different things that will really help them feel comfortable. And so sitting on a pillow, putting your hands in a certain position, or whatever, anything you need to do that's gonna signal to your brain that, hey, I'm just gonna take a few minutes and focus inward. And that's a great way to start. The idea that you're going to quiet your mind, I think, is a little bit of a misnomer, because it's not actually that we want to attain a state of doing nothing. And some people are even afraid of that idea, that if they actually stop all activity in their mind, that something negative is going to come in. And I think we can move away from that idea and look at it as an active attention process that you're going to do, an active engagement of focusing on something that you want to focus on. And one of the ways that we're going to work with it, and I'm going to help teach it, is to be focused on a feeling, to be able to take your attention inward on what a certain feeling works and how it feels in your body. And with the work of HeartMath, we are going to really focus on the quick coherence technique. And what that is just a quick short meditation of getting in touch with a really positive feeling. And the positive feelings that we want to accentuate are ones of love, appreciation, care for another person, compassion, gratitude, really getting into a heightened state of awareness. If you are able to attach and really get your awareness shifted and focused around this feeling that you really want to accentuate in your life, you're better able to get to that place of meditative freedom or release that people are looking for. So I think it's much easier to think of it as actively focusing on something and doing something, rather than saying, I'm just going to let go and think of nothing and be totally an empty vessel. I don't think you have to do that, and I don't think that's necessarily the most helpful thing you can do to decrease the stress and help your body and your brain to reset. Focusing on something very positive that will shift your hormonal state, your internal hormonal state, and therefore will bathe your brain in different hormones and chemicals that are going to support a highly effective brain state. We all want better cognition, better memory, less anxiety, less stress, less depression, less feeling stuck. And meditation is something that can really help bring you to that place where in your everyday life, you're really benefiting from it. So it's not just the benefits of while you're in meditation that you feel great and your body function is improved and brain function is improved. It's the lasting effects after you practice a meditation, what can happen in your brain and body, and how you then experience your world. You're more likely to be more engaged, have better communication with others, be able to be really connected, be able to be focused on your intuition, your own insight into things, rather than just being reactive and afraid. Too many of us, if we're focused on the news and what's happening out there, we can get very afraid. And so having a practice of meditation, which takes time and help to really work at it and get good at it, but it can really help to retrain your brain so that you're not as anxious and you're not as stressed, or you're not as stuck in your life as many people find themselves to be. So I hope that helps change your mind a little bit about meditation, and maybe allow yourself to give it a go and see what it's really like. We have lots of different kinds of meditation that you can follow, and then hopefully create what works for you and be able to gather a practice in a way that you're going to do it that's going to be able to be useful for you in the long term. When I started practicing it, I used a lot of guided meditations and tried to understand what people were trying to ask me to do, or what am I supposed to do when I meditate? That's really helpful. But now I don't use any. I just practice it myself, by myself, and really all day long. I'm always trying to remind myself to come back to a meditative state, to reset, and it takes me about 30 seconds or so to do that now. I don't need half an hour or an hour, though I try to always create time in my life where I can do that for much longer. and use like a more of a session of it, that I can do that as frequently as I can. But I'm always trying to come back to the feeling of gaining that meditative state, because I find it the most clear, the most at ease. I feel the most myself. I feel the most connected to others. And I love the ideas that I tend to get and how I feel in my everyday life. So that's the reason that I keep practicing it and find it to be so helpful. So I want to take you on just the quickest meditative practice that I like to guide people through. And it's really something that you can use if you find yourself in a position where you need to make a decision, but you feel torn and you don't know what to do. You don't see a clear way out for yourself. You don't know how to respond to something. You are feeling really worked up and overwhelmed, and you want to know how you're going to move forward in your life. The best way to come up with the best decision that's going to work for you, even if other people aren't in agreement with it, is to get yourself connected back to the core of who you are. And this is a quick 4-step process that you can do anytime. And once you learn this, you can take this as like a little recipe that you use all the time throughout your day to just help reset your body, reset your brain, and be able to connect to more of who you really are.
In this short meditation called the Quick Coherence Technique, we're just going to block out the outside world for a few moments and focus inward. The first step is just to find that quiet spot where you can have a few minutes of peace to yourself. And you can leave your eyes open or closed, whatever's comfortable, and place your hand on your heart. By doing this, it just really draws your attention to where your touch is. And as you move into step 2, which is to focus on your breath, think about that breath moving from the outside air in through your nose and throat, down into your lungs, and right into your heart where your hand is placed. Take a few short breaths and just focus on that air moving into your body and then directly into your heart. See it filling your heart with fresh, clean, good air. And feel your hands start to relax on your body, your shoulders start to relax, and just easing into your breath. Whatever feels good, whatever pace feels right for you, just breathe. And now I want you to bring to mind a person, a place, an event, anything that pops into your mind that has the feeling of appreciation or gratitude, or something or someone that you just love and care for so much. And I want you to think about that person. Have an image of something. And just keep focusing on the breath coming in to your body and into your heart. And I want you to try to feel that emotion happening right inside your heart. And with every breath, that feeling just gets bigger and bigger. And the final step of the Quick Coherence Technique is just to let go of the person or the story or the image and attach to the feeling that you have. The feeling of how much you love, how much you appreciate. And take the focus and the awareness off the other person and just back into your body. Envision that feeling of love and appreciation and gratitude filling up your whole body just as the air just did. Right into your body, into your lungs, into your heart. A feeling that is so big you feel your heart could burst. And just continue to regulate this and enjoy this, focusing on your breath. In from outside air, clean, good, fresh air into your body, filling your lungs and filling your heart. Notice how your hand feels on your skin. And just sit here as long as you like, keeping your attention focused on that feeling.